What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Today I'm here with Indez, and we're going to be talking about the new update that just dropped inside of the game. How you doing, brother? How you liking the update so far?
So far, I think it has been a very big improvement in a lot of like the systems on the core issues that the game had, and for that, I'm happy.
All right, good. I love that. I love that, man. It's a good thing to hear that that someone like yourself is okay with the update. This one was a lot bigger than I was anticipating, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I think a lot of people weren't expecting as much. But with that said, let's get into a couple of topics, and let's start talking about today. Let's talk about the new gems first, all right? I was reading the patch notes about these gems, and I was like, damn, every single one of them sounds like it's a really good gem, even down to the 1-star. What are your thoughts on it? I guess we could let's really focus in on the Colossus engine. What do you think of this gem so far? Have you unlocked one? Have you gotten one?
No, I'm waiting for whenever I'm gonna do 1 year of playing Diablo Immortal on
Ah.
the April 9th, and I'm gonna do like a 100 crest stream. It's gonna be fun. But regarding like this Colossus one, I mean it is a very strong gem, especially if you play a lot with the skill, like for example Barbarian, Crusader, even Wizard. Like pretty much it's gonna be very good for these classes. But what people are actually finding out is that now, if you see and if you read, it's going to increase your size, but this increased size is actually not giving you more movement speed like it happens in other features of the game. So there is a
Oh.
bit of inconsistencies, and some people are, thinking that maybe they got a bit scammed and all these things,
Oh boy.
because it is still a very strong gem, but it is not as strong as it looks.
I mean, increase. So for me, I play as Barbarian right now. All of my damage is focused on skills. When I'm thinking PvP specifically, it's
Yeah.
all about skills. So skill damage increased is pretty massive. All right, so there's a little bit, and we've seen this before. We've seen this before with other gems that have come out. Remember when the Blood Knight came out? I don't know if you were creating content, but Spiteful Blood
No.
came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Spiteful Blood is going to be the new gem." And now it's like, it's not one of the top
Yeah.
gems, you know? So
Yeah.
um, okay, do you think it's worth chatting about a 2 or 1-star? Like, do you have any spots in your heart for the new 2-star gem?
I will say the 2-star gem, it is a must pull. It is a
Really?
must build. Yeah, because if you read it, whenever you do a critical hit strike, it's gonna pretty much just put armor breaker on the mob or on the enemy itself,
Hmm.
and it is very strong. It can go up to 28%, and that's just incredible. It's one of like the biggest bursts that we're gonna have on this game. So and there is another plus that it actually also stacks with other armor breaks that you can have on the game. So it is strong, very strong.
So you could basically have people running around naked because you're breaking their armor multiple different times, right?
Exactly.
And then we have the flatter grasp. You like this one? What do you think? Increase.
I feel like this one, unless you are like just starting the game and you want to play like support
Yeah.
inside the PvP, it is a skip. That's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. So you're, I mean, I could expect that from you, I guess. You being the free to play, representative of Diablo Immortal, liking and really seeing the value in the 2-star. So I guess the question is like, is it going to replace certain 5-stars in? I don't want to say whale builds because it won't, but in high spender builds, you think that people are going to start using that one in place of like a seeping bile or something like that?
Definitely, if you are like in the mid range of the resonance, there are definitely some builds, especially for PvE, that you wanna start putting like these two star gems, because they are very powerful.
Hmm.
Most of them, like from the Morn Skull, now we have this one. They are actually more powerful than old school 5 stars. So
Yeah.
this is what is happening in the game. The game is 3 years old, so we are having a lot of power creep happening, not only on the 5 stars, but also the 2 stars are catching up with these old 5 stars. And I mean, like, if you just want to output the most damage possible, you kind of have to go with a hybrid version of like 5 stars and a few very strong 2 stars to just output the max damage that you can have.
Yeah.
If you see Orat, Maw, and all these other theory crafting, build makers, you're gonna see that most of them, to optimize for the highest damage possible, they are using 2 stars and even sometimes like 1 stars.
Yeah, it makes sense. But what you struggle with is the resonance then for trying to be one of those whale players. That's where you make your struggle. How do you like these? How do you like these rank numbers on all the gems right here? I think it looks a little like meh.
I feel like definitely it adds a bit more visual pollution in a way, if I
Yeah,
can use that term. But the other side is that now I don't have all my like 10 Morn Skulls, like
yeah.
a list like that. I just keep scrolling through all my gems and I can have them all stacked up. So that's like the benefit that you get, and you lose some things, and you win others, I
Yeah,
guess.
I guess the visual thing is fine. All right, let's talk about the new PvP zone in Ancient Cradle. Transparency. I have not played a ton of the update yet because I am focusing on another action RPG on the main channel. I featured it here a few times. It's called Moko. That just launched, so I'm putting a lot of time into that, and I've not put as much time as I should have recently into Diablo Immortal. I haven't had the open world PvP zone yet. It's hanging out in the Ancient Cradle, which I really like that they're reusing a zone that they've used before. Ancient Cradle, it's right over here in the map on the left-hand side. It's not an original zone from the game, but it is, it's not a brand new one either. What are your thoughts about the gameplay here? Obviously, it's only available for a certain amount of time. What do you think of it? Have you enjoyed it? Is it just a Battlegrounds round two? Do you lose all your gear like people were worried about?
I mean, like I did it like for the one day. The main purpose why I went there was first to try it out. The second thing, if you go to the first tab, you can actually get these rhodolites, these
Mm-hmm.
new mining resource. You can only have like 6 per week. You can get it for multiple times, but in this game mode, you can actually get it like extremely fast. You just do a couple of games, and you're probably just gonna get like the weekly done. Regarding the PvP mode, man, it is like it's chaotic. It is
Yeah.
fun. You have to capture the flags. You can earn points from capturing the flag, getting kills, also killing some mobs, and I feel like it was fun. My only fear is that maybe in 1 month people will not be as excited to actually go there, which that's usually what happens with these world PvP events.
Yeah, no, I get that. Um, I hope it doesn't though, because I love the idea of it. I can't wait to dive in and test it out for myself for the first time. But I like the idea of more of a chaotic PvP experience versus what we're used to in Battlegrounds. Which takes us, I guess, to Battlegrounds. How do you like the new map? Is it game changing? Everything everyone wanted? Like, are we there or no?
Um, I will say that a new map it is definitely welcome and is definitely way better than the previous version. And like I actually just made a video like with the pros and the cons and like a small guide on how can you just play it better. And it is way faster pacing. It is also more chaotic because the map is smaller. You have like very fast response. You can take like these teleports that is gonna put you like in action all the time. You have to defend and you also have to attack at the same time to push the idol. It is very interesting. Not only that, it also has like a boss in the middle
Yeah.
that if you don't kill the boss, you actually is gonna be in a lot of disadvantage because one of the buffs is gonna give you like 3 revivals. So pretty much, if you die, you don't have to wait the 20 seconds or 30 seconds that you are dead. Like you instantly go back. So it creates a lot of like momentum, and it was fun. Yeah, I had like a 3 hour session yesterday, like just playing around, trying different things. I was trying Crusader, Barbarian, all these Necromancer, Golem, all these tanky classes are so much better like in this map, and that was my biggest fear whenever I saw and I tested for the new Battlegrounds. One of the things that I kind of wanted was a different mode than pushing the idol, but I will say that even if we have the same game mode of pushing the idol, this is like a refinement. It's just a better version than what we already have.
Yeah, okay, man. I love hearing that. I also love hearing anything that's good for the barbarian because I love my barbarian. Part of me, and I'm going to ask you a pop up question about this, but part of me wants to switch classes. I finally, built out my barbarian. He's gotten everything that he needs. And I'm like, okay, we put
Yeah.
out the guide with all the builds. What's the next class? But there's also part of me, I'm so comfortable with the barb. I just love being the barb. All right, let's move on to another question I have. Main quest. I have not done it yet. I want to take my time when I do it. I may even do it in a live stream because I kind of want to take the time and not rush through it. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
So I'm not gonna give you any spoils, because like
Thank you.
spoilers will ruin the experience. All I can say is if you are expecting something like we had in December, it's not gonna be not even close.
Yeah.
And it is way shorter. It's gonna take you probably like, yeah, I mean like if you take your time, really like 20-30 minutes. There's like one thing you're gonna probably get excited as a Diablo 4 player and talking about like these new classes that may come up in the game. But besides that, it felt like very dry. I think like
Mm.
there's not a lot of like interesting cutscenes and what pretty much they are trying to do. I feel like there is gonna be like 4 quarters that we saw on the roadmap. So I think the first 3 quarters we're gonna have like very short, simple quests, and then in December, like at the last quarter, maybe we're gonna have like a bigger quest line the same way as we had. It was a bit underwhelming, but I mean, I guess like that's what I could have expected. I feel like the exception to the rule was actually the Diablo one, and I think they made extra effort because the Diablo is Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have botched that, that would have been bad. That had to be an amazing. You can't. And I saw your interview that you did with Ryan. Great job, by the way. Really love that interview. If
Thank you.
anyone didn't see that, he interviewed Ryan Quinn, who's in charge of all the story and lore and building out what happens in Diablo Immortal. Go check it out in his channel. And I saw you ask him, how are you going to beat that? Like, how are you going to beat? And he said, you don't
Yeah,
have to beat it. Like, it's not,
yeah,
that's because you really can't, right? Like,
yeah.
everyone is here for Diablo. We had Diablo. We beat Diablo. You can't beat that. I don't think you'll ever be able to, but doesn't mean they can't have some great story in the future. And I love Ryan, man. He's one of my favorite people over there. Just talking with him, such a passionate guy about what he does. So I'm really happy you got to have that interview. All right, so we talked about we talked about a lot of things so far. I want to talk about crafting. I was coming on over today and I didn't even realize it, and I did read it in the patch notes, that I can't get to enchanting
Enchant.
until my gear is all level 30, and I got, this piece is about to be today. Got one more piece to go. I just have to do a good farming session. One thing that I did, so I can't display it, what the enchanting looks like here, but what I did, because I was watching your video, what I did notice is that you need 10 terror essences to enchant the piece of gear for a chance to get what you want. That's a lot of farming for terror essences, man. I hate farming terror. It's just time consuming. And then I love to take
Yeah,
that terror essence and I love to throw it into a bounty, so at least I could save time on the bounty. But this, you're literally farming for like, typically you farm terror essence, you use it to try and get a great gear drop from doing the terror,
yeah.
enhanced
The
bounties.
Oblivion Pillars.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Oblivion Pillars,
exactly.
right. So, but here it's like you're like, okay, I'm gonna kind of skip that chance and I'm gonna do this crafting chance instead. What's the better chance? 10 chances at running Oblivion Pillars or one chance at crafting? I know it's limited time you've had in it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like these, whenever the enchanting feature came, for those that don't know, maybe they are starting the game and they still don't have the gear at the rank 30. It is pretty much a feature inside the blacksmith that you can re-roll one of your sub stats. So if you
Mm-hmm.
have, for example, primary attack and you don't have and you want critical hit chance, you can go, you click on it, and it gives you a chance of like 3 options, and then you select one of them. So this, it is one of the best features that came into Diablo Immortal. Allows you to kind of mid max, which means like to make your gear the best it can be. And whenever this feature came out, we asked, oh, is there a way that we can actually also reroll the affixes from Terror Rifts? We're talking about Flowing Strike, Wrath of the Berserk, all these like special affixes that they get attached to the skills. And since then, after like 6 months, we got it into the game. But I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I read the patch notes, I was super stoked because it was like, oh my god, they are listening, you know.
Yeah.
But then I saw the cost, and as you said, and well, it is 10 terarances. I feel like, in my opinion, that's an absurd. I feel like it is very well oriented,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think I was expecting maybe one. I mean, like I'll be fine like with 3, maybe 5, because or you tell me that it is 10, but it is deterministic. Like I can select which one I really want, not giving me a chance, because otherwise, by chance, you can actually reroll maybe like 50 or 60 and not even getting the affixes that you're looking for. So for free to play players or low spenders, you're kind of out of like the option of like actually using these. Will be very risky. And yeah, I hope that in the future the whole enchanting feature, they just reduce the resources that is needed, because you need like 100 gold dust. And the gold dust, it is super also hard to get. Like it takes a lot of time. This should be a feature that players should enjoy it more. And right now, you pretty much only use it whenever you actually have like a godly piece that you are only missing that that last substat. Otherwise, you don't want to spend your resources, and I think that's the doesn't make the game fun. And at the end of the day, they should make the game fun.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%. I think there's a few points that you made there. One, if you're spending 10 Terror Essence, make it you purchasing that piece, that
Yeah,
skill, rather than a chance. Kind of brings you back to the charm system, right? Where you're
yeah.
re-rolling and re-rolling forever to get stuff to happen. Um, oh, there was another point you made too that I really liked about that, but now I'm forgetting what it was. Um, oh, when you get to the new hell difficulty, all that gear's scrapped. You got to do all that
Yeah,
stuff again. So
yeah,
it's, I mean, every couple of months, you're going to be going through the same process, which is an action RPG. Like, that's part of the grind. But I agree with you. If it's going to be so expensive, I would even go as far as saying, shoot, make it 15 Terror Essence, but give me a guarantee
yeah,
versus
yeah,
10 and it's a shot, because that could
yeah.
be devastating, especially because it's so time consuming. I do agree, though, that the crafting system is something that was much needed. And, it's nice, but it's not perfect. But,
Yeah,
but
but now that like you talked about the new crafting system, now we have like this new way to farm, that you can go around the world. You have these mining ores and all these things, and I feel like I was actually not expecting that something like this would actually come into Diablo Immortal, and it made me extremely excited. Not like the version that we have right now. Like, so the version we have right now, you can like farm like 150 silver ores. Like there's a weekly cap that people were not expecting. People were saying, oh, I'm just gonna AFK farm with my necromancer. I'm gonna get like a lot of ores, a lot of like these new resources, and I'm gonna craft a bunch of gear. This was what getting people very excited. But what they did was not, no, we actually gonna cap these. So to get these resources per week is actually gonna be quite easy for you, and you're gonna be able to craft one very good piece per week if you want. If not, you can actually save those resources so for whenever you hit like a new difficulty. So for example, Inferno 6, you can actually have a bunch of resources, and then with all of them you can craft like 10 new pieces. So there's a lot of possibilities, and it actually makes me excited. It makes me excited for what they can actually expand upon for the future of this game. I think ARPGs and crafting systems is just like they are bound together. You see in many others, Path of Exile is like the prime example of like a good ARPG with like almost a very convoluted but also very complex and interesting crafting system. I never expected Diablo Immortal is gonna reach to that level, but it's just nice. It's just nice to have that.
do you think that this helps the issue of AFK farming? Because you can't AFK farm any of these resources. It's going to force people to actually at least circle farm. At
No,
least
you.
up until their cap, right? Until you get your cap for the
Yeah,
week, and then you can just.
exactly. Like people will still try to abuse their ways into try to do or less effort or less time. These are what people are looking for.
Yeah.
And I think like Blizzard just had to find a way, and the way they found was like to put a weekly cap on the resources. So if you click on that pop-up, it's gonna appear like what can you actually get it
Yeah.
per week. And one of like the points that people got a bit upset was like the Rodolites. It was supposed to be unbound, so all the free-to-play players and low spenders were like, "Ooh, we have another way to make like
Sell.
platinum and sell." But now you're like, "Oops, I guess you can only get 6 bound per week,"
Yeah.
and there was a bit of disappointment there. But I mean, it is part of it. These mobile games will always gonna put caps because they want you to keep coming back week after week, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, I get the issue with free to play players getting excited about something else to sell because there's not a lot of stuff you could sell right now
Yeah,
besides Terror Essence. That's the only thing that I
yeah.
think holds some decent value. And pets, you can't sell pets. I have no pets that I could sell, and I have a ton of them.
Yeah, you nowadays it's so hard to sell pets because pets was one of the things that people used to sell the most
Yep.
for to transfer plat to their main and all these things. So now you have to convert them. You actually have to get lucky that you're gonna get an aberrant. But if you have an aberrant pet, then you can actually sell normal gems. You can sell them, but you kind of maybe don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get very far behind. So definitely, there's not a lot to sell for a free to play, unless you get like really lucky and you get like a legendary rune or a 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 like legendary gem that's everyone wants. Otherwise, it is
Yeah.
it is rough.
But that's not farmable, right? That's not farmable the way that normal gems were. And normal gems now, their
Yeah,
value is so bad, it's like not even worth selling anything. So,
yeah.
all right, my last question for you is going to be what's the go-to class right now? Is Tempest no longer? I saw there was some buffs to that. I mean, some nerfs to that. What's your call on the best class in the game right now?
I will say that probably if you are a big whale barbarian, it is still the king, and it's only gonna get stronger. Like right now with the new battleground, like I said, it's very
Mm-hmm.
tank centric because like you kind of have to hold the idol or push the idol. So barbarian and crusader, I think they are in a very good spot. Tempest is not looking that good. It is still very very good. It's just not broken as it was
Yeah,
with the Windwalk.
yeah. Well said with the broken. All right, man. I appreciate. I love having you come on and just kind of talk back and forth about the game. Any last
Me
things
too.
that you're really excited about that you want to mention? If not, let people know when you're streaming and where they could check you out.
I mean, for this patch, I feel like was one of the first patch that I saw since I started to play Diablo Immortal 1 year ago that they are actually trying to fix and like core issues that for me fundamentally we didn't even talk actually on the new loyalty bonus system, but you can now get new instances way faster. So for me that was a huge pain
Yeah.
point. Now they are trying to fix that. So I feel like in that sense it is going in a better direction, and on top of that fixing the core issues they are also like bringing new content to the game, which is always appreciated, the crafting and all these things. So I think like the future is making me look a bit more positive for the Diablo Immortal. I stream every day and I also put out videos for Diablo Immortal, and yeah, that's about it.
Appreciate you coming through, man. I'll be linking Indez's channel in the description of this video. Make sure you go check him out. Hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the update yourself. Take care, guys.